Don't say a word, he rectified. Don't bother, go ahead. I suppose it's the same as your everyday life, but in blue. Well, maybe not the same. The truth is that I wasn't paying attention to him. I was sitting on the floor, with the bag full of delicacy. At a fine time, I was going to pay attention to him. He, seeing I didn't need his instructions and that the food was decreasing, stopped talking and looked for room between my greedy hands. You have been for a long time in the resistance, haven't you? I asked, trying he didn't realize I was talking with a full mouth. Why? He answered, with his eyes on the food. Well, considering you know nowadays people from the organization, I dropped to make him talk. He raised the eyebrow, finding out my intentions, ghosted a sardonic smile, and he kept on eating. He didn't say a word. Fine, I said, getting up. I'm going for a walk. No sooner said than done. I didn't give him time to react. He had turned his head to see me leaving, or at least that was the feeling I had. In the street, I took it easy. I tried to integrate into the crowd that it was less as I approached the stone houses. The prospect was more encouraging there, in a sense. There were more curtains behind the windows, more clothes hanging on the lines, fewer shops, different from the ones I knew, cats beside the open doors, some kids playing, some out to lunch, more life, a lot of life. Discouraging, maybe not the qualifier, not too much convenient, perhaps, is better fit. It all was perfect, except there wasn't anybody I knew. I had no money to go shopping, and it seemed I had lost my self-confidence to talk to people as I used to do. There were interesting things in that shop window. Come inside, lady. The shop window doesn't show how much we have, the woman invited, almost ordering. I went in. Of course I went. There were very interesting things in the shop window, and if there were more inside, I had to see them. I regretted not having money, because it was cheaper than I remembered. Cheaper than the stone shops I remembered, I mean. And what is this? I asked, pointing a little cube with little colored squares on its sides. The woman looked at me surprised. It's a game, she explained, taking it. It entails turning it round and round until every side is the same color. It doesn't seem too much complicated, I said with nerve. That is the point, it doesn't seem. The woman said, turning it round fast, almost imperceptible, putting all the same colored squares together in its side. Afterwards, she messed it up again and gave it to me. Why don't you try? Sure, I took the challenge. She didn't need to see how I was getting on. She noticed in my cunning I was not able to get it. No, and she was right. I only could turn the damned thing round and round back, and once I got the greens together, I messed the blues up. You were right, it wasn't that easy. I surrendered, leaving the colored cube on the counter. You didn't try hard. Why don't you take it home and practice a bit more? The woman took out the saleswoman she had inside. I don't have money, I said without embarrassment yet. The woman grabbed the toy and told me off with a quick bad look. Afterwards, breathing to contain the annoyance, she offered me the magic square, leaving it free on the counter. Come on, take it. Take advantage of my good mood, she offered, making a big effort. No, thanks. I will come back when I have money. I answered, having my embarrassment back. But she insisted once again until the offers started to sound like threats, and I decided to take the impossible jigsaw. As soon as I put my hand over it, the woman stuck hers on mine, as it was a pitchfork. I knew it! The woman shouted, turning her head to the inside of the shop. From the inside, a man came out, alarmed by the woman's shout.